And your last name is Cai, right?
Cai.
Cai. Okay. Welcome to the virtual show in the Corrine Woodman Gallery, work made by Shuo Cai.
Yeah.
And he will be here talking with Kate Quamma, a good friend of his and a fellow artist. And I will ask you the first question, and then Kate, jump in when you want to ask something. Just pretend that you are in the studio, your studio.
Okay, that feels good.
So, this is a kind of unusual that you did a performance. How did that happen? Why was it a performance on, and you made a movie out of it?
Mm-hmm. How did it happen?
Yeah.
I was inspired by a dancing. It's about the Southern Hands Puta dancing. It's like the dancers they cannot hear,
Mm-hmm.
and they cannot speak. They only could see. There's directors tell them what usual movement you should do, and then there's a bunch of people stand in the lines. So
Mm-hmm.
you only can see the first person's face, and there's all the dancers follow behind, and you only can see their hands.
Oh, okay.
Their dance is so beautiful. That's why I want to make this dance, and I want just me, but also I want to set effect many hands.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did the hands come from the dancers, or is a hand something that has a particular meaning?
It does have, because I want to do the hands before it. The dancer is a form, but the hands is actually I want to do a long time ago, because when I was graduating, there's a period of time I felt pretty dark. I was seeking for help. I was seeking for hope. That's why the hands come from. I wanted reaching out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we will encourage people to look at the movie that you made from it. Can you describe a little bit how you decided to do that, standing there? And so how did that relate to your body? It started with your body, and then the hands are a very old cave painting thing.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that relate to each other? Well, when you stood there, you used both your arms at the same time, so almost symmetrical. So how did that happen?
So getting in the space, and I was looking around and thinking I want to change the environment in here. I want my energy filled in this space. Then I was standing in the middle, was thinking I want it reaching out from the top. Then I left and go down, and slowly feeling every inch of the wall, just getting myself out of there. And that's what happened. And once in a while, I would step back. I would check out the wall. It's did I make the shape I want? And where need more ink? Where need more space?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was trying to different posture to make the shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, standing up and I turn my body around and try to reach as much as I can, and without moving my lower body.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you listen to any music while you were doing that, or was it kind of a meditation?
It's kind of meditation. Yeah. I didn't listen to the music getting started.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So, Kate, you are familiar with Shuo's work. How does where does redemption come from? Because that's the title of it. How does that fit in with his other work?
Shuo's work is full of like passion and emotion, and this is no different than all the work I've seen by him before. And I feel like it combines his love for mark making as well as his love for sculpture, and it's really cool to see it in the same spot, corresponding so beautifully.
Yeah.
Because even though they are two different pieces, like together they speak to me a lot, and I'm happy that they're in this form.
Yeah. Why did you pick sumi ink as your material when you did the hands?
Because I felt really familiar with ink. It's just like I didn't feel like it's in my blood. It's just like so easy to use for me. It's just right there, and I'm really good with it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how I feel with the ink.
Is it the first time that you did mark making with just your hands and ink? Or because there's no brush work?
Mm.
Was this the first time that you did the...
Yeah, it's the first time I just only use my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't know a large scale of ink brush work on the wall, but I still use the brush to do the work.
Mm-hmm. Was it exciting?
It was really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so does it give you more ideas of how to go further?
Yes, it did. It's especially when I finished this installation, the mountain, the cloud. It definitely it brings me to a new direction I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about, because Kate already hinted at the sculptural piece in there. Can you tell us a little bit about what we see there?
The sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
It's the inside, the armature is chicken wire, and the surface was I ripped off lots of muslin fabric into strips, and grouped them and put on the surface. And then I made this mountain. I connected 2 rows of chicken wire, and I made the ring. How do you say the
Mobius ring, isn't it?
Yes.
It has no ending.
Yeah.
It has no beginning or ending.
Yeah. I was thinking I wanted this the floating clouds, and I thought this shape is perfect for the clouds. That's why, hanging the.
How did you make the step from the wall hand mark making to the sculptural part?
So when I finished the wall, I was feeling a little bit flat and trapped. It was then I take a day off.
Yeah.
I was thinking no, I don't want to be influenced by the work too much. I want to jump out. So I'm thinking I wanted something more stable, more quiet, different energy, a parallel existing with the wall. Mm-hmm. So you won't fight each other, it won't be influenced by each other, but just harmony existing.
You talked about that it was meditative making. Could you say just some sort of a prayer? You know, a prayer?
I wasn't prayed to any figure. At the end of the performance, I was just so tired, and there's lights coming off the window just shooting in my face. I was like, it's like my brain is totally empty. I have no thought, but my tears is coming out. Yeah.
So that is what makes it really important as a performance piece, maybe more than a wall painting, right?
Yeah.
What makes you interested in performance?
Who doesn't want to be an actor? Everyone, I think I do want to have the chance to sitting on the camera to express myself. Yeah.
And was this the first time that you had yourself filmed?
With my face. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the first time.
Yeah.
Even though we had a 10 lab project, but I didn't show my face at all at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think it was liberating?
Liberating.
Making you feel free?
This is why I'm making this thing. It's like basically I'm just focusing the thing itself. So nothing else. It's just like I was into a completely different space. I'm not worried about outside world. I'm just worried about this wall.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Kate, when you two were studying, was performance something that you went to school to be a performance artist, or?
I did not. We don't have a designated performance area at OSU, but more and more professors and instructors are bringing that into the classroom and encouraging it, and it's really exciting because I think, yeah, like who doesn't want to express themselves through their bodies on camera and off camera, and so I'm really glad that Shuo has continued with that outside of that.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about why a mountain? Why did you want to make a mountain?
Because a mountain made from the dirt, the soil. It's really, really basic element of anything. Just everything comes from it. It makes me feel really secure and safe. That's where mountains come from.
And then the cloud is over the mountain. What is the cloud doing?
Hanging there. I just wanted something hanging there. And I want a cloud there.
Can I ask what this element is?
It's another mountain.
It's another mountain.
But it's forming. It's, yeah.
I totally see that.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you came to the idea of using muslin torn up in strips to make this mountain and not clay? Or, I don't know, fake grass?
I I was just thinking like I want to use fabric for sure, and I was thinking about the physics of fabric is like the gravity, the dripping, and it's soft. So I was thinking like what's the best way to show the fabric is its feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, did you make a test mountain and a test cloud at home or in your studio? Or?
I just made the inside armature first, and the fabric thing is like I come up when I was in here.
Oh, the idea.
The idea.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't plan anything to make it.
Is that how you usually work? Not planning?
Yeah, I don't plan things because it always changes too much, and yeah, I would not know what will happen or show until it have to be happen.
Mm. Does that go for you too?
Yeah, I think that like there's no way around it. It just seems like for everybody it's gonna like ideas always change, and it's I don't know, to me it's more exciting to just kind of let it just happen as it goes. It's the fun of it.
Yeah. So that is what you did too, Shuo?
Yes.
Mm. And Shuo, the piece with the handprints, the size of that was determined by your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you reach as far as you could, but you didn't stand on a ladder. So how did you decide on how big or small to make the mountain and the cloud? Because it really fills up the entire space. You cannot really walk around it.
How I decided the size?
Yeah.
Decision is just not really considered it. It's just like it need this big.
So it is very intuitive
Yeah,
and improvisational.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you think you wanted to fill the space, like make the space feel compact with it?
Yeah, it's just have the sense like I don't want it too crowded, but I do want to fill this space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you did a good job with that because you can walk around, but
You can,
you gotta dodge a little bit.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Totally. I noticed that there's red and blue dye, not everywhere, but like scattered a little bit. Is there a significance to that?
The red, I was thinking the sunlight is hitting the cloud, so change the cloud's color, and the blue is a little bit water.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining probably.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's raining, huh? Probably. When you look at it, does it surprise you?
Surprise me, no. It's when I finish it, I feel satisfied. I feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Did it surprise you, Kate?
A little bit, just because I didn't really know about it at all, and so it's very grand, and there's lots of layers to it, and it's the mountain and the cloud, the two mountains and the clouds are highlighted by the contrast of the black handprints in the back, and it just works. And I mean, I'm not surprised that it worked at all, but it was definitely something that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah. I think there's a contrast of different forces. The hands is an entirely different force than the mountain and the cloud. The handpiece is very dynamic, and especially if you think about it, about your performance, which I think is essential to look at the movie. And the cloud and the mountain seem much more quiet and feminine, actually, than the. Those two forces are sort of complementing each other, not fighting each other.
I see that in the fact that the handprints are on the wall, and those exact hands made the sculpture, and so you get to see like two ways that the hands, that your hands worked. I think that's really, really.
It was a lot of work, the tearing up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You still worked very hard. I mean, you were still done quite quickly.
Yeah.
Did you expect that?
No. I just can't walk really slow. I want to get things done really fast. Yeah.
So, so this is very still, I think, the mountain and the cloud. But you're not a still person. You're just saying you want to get going and work hard. So how does this come out of you?
It's like inside me it's really loud. It's always so much fighting. So that's why I'm so drawn into the quiet, peace forms. Yeah.
Well, what are your next plans, or you don't have?
I do want to try new things. Since I've done this, I want to try having like chicken wires and try to like using the strips, like making a painting on the chicken wire. Yeah.
With strips of paper in different muslin in different colors.
Yes, it actually just and make it 3D. Have a different. I'm thinking is have different layers chicken wires, and having like strips each layers, and then making the whole thing 3D. Is it clear?
Yeah, that sounds so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
So, Kate, would you have made a mountain?
No, but now I want to make a mountain. But I don't think I could make the same kind of mountain.
So when you look at each other's work, do you sort of feed off each other's work, or is it very different?
It definitely appears very different, but I think we definitely, at least I definitely take inspiration from you. Yeah. So hopefully one day we can do a collab or something. We have done small collabs before, but.
What is the fun in working together?
Our friendship is just like, we're friends, so we just get to hang out and do what we love, you know? Yeah. I really came to love art and like know myself as an artist in this program at OSU, and I've known you the whole time I've been in this program, and one of the best friends I've made here. So my love of art kind of is parallel My love for you.
Is it important to have artist friends?
Yeah.
It's too important.
Yeah. So, do you speak another language? Like twins speak another language?
We should. that's a art project right there.
Inventing our own language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that visual artists don't like to talk about their work, but
Yeah,
I think it is really for all of us people that are looking at your art, it's really interesting to hear you talk about how you did it and what your thought process is. So if there's anything you want to tell us that we haven't talked about, because Kate, you just mentioned there's still so much to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
No. I can't solve anything to add it.
Mm-hmm. Is there things you feel the viewer needs to know before they can relate to this work? I'm not even saying understand, but relate.
I was just like, don't worry about the audience at all.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't.
Well, in that case,
Are you gonna ask your
my famous question?
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't warn him though. And I'll ask you again too.
Okay.
So the question is, if money and space was not a problem at all, and you can see that space can become a problem pretty quickly, but that's not a... What artwork would you like to own? Something that is so close to you that you would want to have it with you all the time.
I don't remember the name, but we definitely know what it is. It's the shark.
Oh, Damon Hirst, the
I don't know
Yeah.
rotting
what
shark.
it's called.
Yeah.
All right.
Make me feel chill.
Yeah.
Why specifically that piece?
It's reminding me of ocean, and it's dead. Make me feel chilling.
Mm. Mm. Because it's a real animal.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could build an animal that size that is not real, but it wouldn't be the same, would it?
It would not be the same.
No. It's okay.
Oh.
What do you think of that choice?
It's a good one. I am blanking on all like huge sculptures that I love, and yeah, I think that it makes sense that you would want that one. So I guess the only I keep thinking of Fujita, the Japanese painter. I just love all of his paintings, and so I would take one of those.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both for talking. Shuo, thank you very much for being an experiment and experimenting with the space and really throwing your heart in there. And we would encourage people to look at the movies that we've posted on different platforms. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.